In a perfectly competitive market, how are a firm's demand and marginal revenue determined? In this video, we'll explore why a perfectly competitive firm faces a perfectly elastic demand curve at the market price. You'll see how this means marginal revenue equals price for every unit sold, guiding firms to make optimal production decisions. Let's dive into these details.
Perfect competition is a market structure such that you have supply and demand. So every time we've been doing supply and demand in some sort of analysis or market before, we're actually thinking that this market was a perfectly competitive market. So perfectly competitive markets, what are they? The firm's goal here is to maximize profits. So they want to choose a quantity to maximize their profits. Now the rational rule for sellers to maximize profits is that they want to choose the quantity where marginal revenue equals marginal cost, right? If they sell one more unit, their revenue goes up by X amount, and that has to be equal to the same amount that their costs go up by. We're looking for this point here, always, no matter what market structure. We want to find the quantity where marginal revenue equals marginal cost. Now, in a perfectly competitive market, it's typified by lots of small buyers and lots of small sellers. They're so small that their choices can't affect the market price. So think corn farmers. Like if a corn farmer is going to increase their acreage of corn that they're going to plant, that's so small for the entire corn market in the world or in the country that it's not going to affect the market price at all. And so what they can do is take their decisions aren't going to affect that market price. And when that is true, we say that the sellers are going to be price takers. Whatever the market price is, think supply crosses demand for the market. Whatever that market price is, that's the price that the firms are going to face. Right? Right. So what this means is that firms are going to be restricted and can only charge the market price for that homogeneous good being sold. So homogeneous here means like, say something like corn. It's all the same. Like I don't care if I buy corn from farmer A or farmer B. Corn is corn. There's no difference. I'm going to find the cheapest corn I can, and I'm going to buy that. Okay. There's no quality differences. There's no characteristic differences like that. So this is kind of different from many of our common consumer goods. So think about like Coke and Pepsi. These are not homogeneous. They taste really different. Coke and Pepsi do. And so maybe perfect competition is not going to be a really good way to model the Coke and Pepsi market, the soda market, because things do taste different. There are quality differences in those products. All right, so demand in a competitive market. We want to take our market demand and somehow find the demand curve that this perfectly competitive firm will face for their personal or their own product. Okay, they're going to be price-taking firms, and so what that means is that firm demand is going to be the horizontal line at the price. Okay, so over here we have the market supply and demand. Right, so we have the whole market supply and the whole market demand for corn. Right, where the demand crosses the supply, we'll get the market price of $25. Okay, so over here we have the firm graph. Okay? An individual corn farmer, and here's the market for corn. All right, and so what this means, this horizontal line at the market price of $25, is that this corn farmer can sell a little bit of corn at $25 or a whole bunch of corn at $25. They can sell whatever they want at a price of $25, and it's not going to like drive down the price of the market if they sell more. Okay, that's what it means to be really, really small and a price taker. Is they're not going to like drive down the price if they increase their quantity at the firm level because they're so small. One more acre of corn is not going to affect the market price. All right. Okay, so what this means is they want to sell another barrel of corn. What's going to happen to their revenue? So we want to think, where do we get marginal revenue from this firm demand curve there? So if we sell one bushel of corn, we'll get the market price of $25. And so we sell another bushel of corn, we'll get another $25. And so our revenue will go up by $25. We sell a third bushel, our revenue will go up by $25, the market price. We'll sell a fourth bushel, our revenue will go up by $25, the market price. And so what we can see here is that because we have a horizontal line here, that market price of $25 is going to be equal to our marginal revenue. Okay, the change in revenue from selling one more bushel of corn. All right, so this is specific to perfectly competitive industries and firms. is that the marginal revenue is going to simplify down to be the market price. So in our case here, the marginal revenue will be $25 per bushel. And then the firm is going to be able to use this to decide, it's going to be one side of the equation to decide how much or how many bushels to sell. All right, one type of question I might ask you is, here's a table. I have market price, market demand, and market supply. And this table represents the supply and demand for a perfectly competitive market. The question might be on the exam, what is the marginal revenue for a firm in this market? So we want to take this information here, you got to put things together, put together your knowledge, and then come up with what the marginal revenue would be. So I want you to pause here and try to come up with a solution. Great. Okay, so the key here, there's a trick. This is a perfectly competitive industry. So if we would draw out the market graph for this industry, we'd have a downward sloping supply curve, downward sloping demand curve, upward sloping supply curve, and we would have an equilibrium price P star and Q star. What we just did on the previous slide, say that P star there, that equilibrium price, just for perfectly competitive firms, that P star equilibrium market price equals the marginal revenue for that perfectly competitive firm. Okay? And so what we need to get out of this graph is, what is marginal revenue in this graph, meaning what is the market price from this graph. And so what you need to think about is, well, we find market price where quantity supplied equals quantity demanded. When that's true, we're at that Q star equilibrium quantity. And so we have market demand in this column, market supply in that column. We're looking for where those two are equal. So you can go through these. Well, these aren't equal, not equal, not equal, not equal, equal. And so we have, those are equal, quantity supplied equals quantity demanded. So our market price is $55, meaning our marginal revenue is also $55 in this case.